Set an alarm at 7:30 a.m. After every tech influencer on planet Earth has reviewed the OnePlus 11, I decided it's now time for me to finally come out and talk about the OnePlus 11. But it's never too late when you want to spend enough time with the phone to give your thoughts and opinions. If you are looking for a phone review that focuses on specs, this video is not it. Fortunately, OnePlus has good specs, so you don't have to worry about that. I really want to show you how the OnePlus 11 fits in my daily routine, and you be the judge and tell me whether this phone actually makes sense for you. You know what? Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to try and take as much footage on the OnePlus 11, and this also includes the built-in mic. This is the front-facing camera, which caps at 180p. So you tell me what the camera quality of this phone is during this video. So expect a home video format. Okay, I think I forgot to take the mic out. I don't need this. So this is a day in the life review of the OnePlus 11. But before I do so, I really need to get my breakfast sorted. People, mango, and pomegranates. A perfect recipe for overnight oats. I usually spend my breakfast browsing social media apps like Twitter and Instagram. The OnePlus 11's large and vibrant 6.7-inch Quad HD screen makes viewing details a breeze. Its refresh rate of 120 Hz, combined with its lag-free snappy performance, switching between apps or any interaction you may have with it, makes it a beast of a phone. This has always been the norm with OnePlus phones, but I can't stress it enough because I feel like it's underrated nowadays. Speaking of the phone size, the OnePlus 11 is indeed quite large at 6.7 inches as I said, but it's still surprisingly comfortable to hold. In fact, it's even lighter than my 6.1-inch iPhone 14 Pro by a gram, despite being a larger size. Overall, the phone's design is sleek and has a nice weight distribution that makes it easy to hold for an extended period of time. The size of the phone may not be ideal for everyone, especially if you prefer to keep your phone in your pocket. By the way, I'm so excited that the alert slider is back. You have to give credit to OnePlus. Actually, yes, they removed the slider, but you have to give them credit for humbling themselves and getting it back again. Usually companies don't do that. They don't go back, on the major changes that they usually do. So within a year, they just brought back the alert slider, which I really appreciate. Okay, so it is 10:30 a.m. and I am at 100% still. So I have often noticed this, that in the first 2-3 hours, the battery life is always at 100% and then it slowly starts dropping down. So we'll see during the day how the battery is, but just wanted to mention this to you. After breakfast, I usually catch up with emails, plan my schedule for my upcoming videos, and organize my daily routine. Voice to text is my favorite feature on any phone, and the OnePlus 11 executes it almost flawlessly. I have to say something about the OnePlus 11 and OnePlus phones in general. In the past, the brand focused on impressing consumers with specs like RAM, storage, charging speeds, super fast phone unlocking options with every iteration. Don't get me wrong, these specs are important. However, in recent years, in my opinion, OnePlus' focus has been on refining and mastering what really matters to consumers. A clean and fluid user experience with good hardware. Well, they always had a clean and fluid software, but if you remember the hardware like the 1080p AMOLED displays and camera, they were never quite there. OnePlus phones are becoming more expensive, approaching the $1,000 mark. But I understand that's probably because they need to include a high-end display and match the camera capabilities of Apple and Samsung. After all, now more than ever, Consumers care more about good hardware that supports the trending world of video and social media while keeping the price tag reasonable. A price tag of $699, which I paid for this spec OnePlus at 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. By the way, if you're wondering, I am sporting a case from OnePlus itself. This is the sandstone case. I'm just not comfortable using a phone without a case. That's just me. It's very clumsy. So yeah, this is really a good case. I highly recommend it if you're considering a OnePlus case. Okay, so I'm going to be heading out with my bike for an hour on a trail. I usually do this every day for an hour, get my cardio outdoors. It's springtime, so the weather's really good, so I'm going to take advantage of that. So right now it is 12:40 and the battery percentage is 92% and my screen on time is 47 minutes. To be honest, I haven't used the phone much, just light browsing. I've been at my desk, my phone's by my side. This is usually how I use my phone and during the first half. I'll keep you posted at the end of the day, looking at the screen on time overall and telling you whether this is worth it. I have to give you my honest opinion on how I use my phone. Not the heaviest user because I have a busy schedule usually. Take me to the nearest bike trail.
Sure, Thomas Muratori Park at Farmingville Hills. Let's go.
The peak brightness of the OnePlus 11 is 800 nits at its maximum. While it may not be the best, I would say it is reasonably legible in bright light. By the way, I have never experienced the phone ever overheat. Feel it's important to mention it, given that Android phones have been facing overheating issues recently. And I'm talking about Pixel as a reference. Next up, to the grocery store. I'm trying really hard to make it a habit to cook at home and not eat out. One of my 2023 resolutions. While I prep for lunch, I have the habit of streaming videos and listening to them in the background. I'm a big fan of Chelsea in the English Premier League if you follow it, and I enjoy listening to some of my favorite YouTubers in the soccer space. The speakers on the phone are pretty loud. The first point I will make is that I prefer the matte finish on the OnePlus 10 Pro compared to the glittery black on the 10T. This is just a personal preference. Point I will make is that I prefer the matte finish on the OnePlus 10 Pro compared to the glittery black on the 10T. This is just a personal preference. Of course, the quality is not going to be as good as the iPhones, but the OnePlus 11 speakers are still loud and clear enough for anyone to appreciate. Toughest part of my day is after lunch, staying awake. So you know what? I just need to make some tea. I'm generally a sucker for caffeine, so... At the beginning of 2023, I decided to spend an hour every afternoon to learn a new skill. It could be videography, design, or anything that interests me. Currently, I'm taking a few classes on Affinity Designer through Skillshare. Just for the record, I'm not being sponsored by Skillshare, and I genuinely like this platform, so it should not look like a sponsor. If you had to describe Android with one word, customization would be it. OnePlus takes it to a whole new level, offering vast array of customizable options. You might need to take a crash course to learn every single customization that OnePlus allows you to tinker with, from changing accent colors to lock screen, Bitmoji integration, gestures, and more. I can go on, and this video could go on forever to cover them all. I feel like I want to talk about how clean the Android experience is on OnePlus phones, But I wouldn't be saying anything different than what other influencers have already said about this brand. Let me just say this. With each iteration, OnePlus phones are resembling Pixel phones more and more. And that's a good thing, particularly when it comes to software and user experience. So I have a haircut appointment in 15-20 minutes. As you can see, I really need a crop. I am going to try and test the camera outdoors and take some pictures. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so got a crop. So I had a chance to just drop by at IKEA. I had to return a few things, and I said, I'm going to take some pictures, with the phone. And what I also did was I compared it with the iPhone 14 Pro that I had, because everybody says Apple's the gold standard for photos, and OnePlus is not really regarded when it comes to camera quality. So I took a few pictures. You let me know what you think of these, and I think they look good. Of course, they add their own filters to it. They have their own color science with Hasselblad brand that they are associated with. Seems like the pictures are much better, but you tell me what you think about it. Okay, so it is 5:25 in the evening, and my battery percentage is around 55%. I usually like to, hide my notification bar, using the Nova Launcher. So let me know if you want me to make a video on how I customize my Android phones. I'd like to know about that. So it's Friday night. I'm meeting my wife after lunch, after her work for dinner. So I'm going to head out and stay along. Still a little more to cover in the video. We're just heading for dinner. Just met my wife after work. She's finally done with her work, and we're just going to a nice cafe. I'm coming towards the end of my day, and I have 35% of battery life left, and it is 9:41 p.m. in the evening. My screen on time is 4 hours and 11 minutes, and it's quite reasonable, I would say. I wouldn't consider myself a heavy user. Like I said, I have a busy schedule. Most of my time I spend at my desk. My phone's by my side. The good thing is that the phone doesn't drain off just easily. So you can, if you're a heavy user, push this through to 10%, 5% at the end of the day, and you should just be good. It comes with an included 80-watt super walk power brick, which charges from 1 to 100% in less than 25 minutes. So even if you plug it in for 5 minutes, you should just be good. It's going to be very difficult to drain this battery off, I can tell you that much. It's a 5000 milliamp battery, and it's pretty impressive. By the way, I've kept the screen resolution to auto select, so it's going to select either full HD or quad HD based on the content and the app. So my battery is based on this selection. So what do I think about the OnePlus 11? I still think this brand is going to be underrated. The masses will still go for Apple or Samsung because they just have a better brand visibility. However, those who truly know OnePlus will always recognize it as a brand that produces the best valued phones. In my opinion, the OnePlus 11 has specs that most consumers care about, such as a great display, fluid Android experience, lag-free performance, great battery life, and a camera that actually does well, unless if you're a professional photographer who's really being very petty about details. And one of the most underrated aspects is that it still comes with a fast power brick that charges your phone from 1 to 100%, like I said, in 25 minutes. all of this at a price that won't break the bank. And like I said, that is what the consumers care the most about. Its direct competitor, I would say, is the Pixel 7 Pro, and at the time of this recording, it is still cheaper than that phone by $50. Okay, so the OnePlus 11 doesn't have wireless charging. It is a IP64 rating. I understand that some might not be happy about it. Let me put it in this way. Because you don't have these features, OnePlus has been able to keep the price low. Would you prefer to save more dollars in your pocket, or would you prefer to have these features, which quite frankly aren't deal breakers if you think about it? Charge your phone an extra 5% during the day and you will never need a wireless charger near you. Be more careful with your phone like most electronic devices you have. I think the OnePlus 11 is still a very desirable phone. My previous phone was the Pixel 7, and now I think this is going to be my Android phone for quite some time. You know, I could actually go and buy the S23 Ultra, but I know very well that it's not $500 more better than the OnePlus 11. And I don't even need to buy that phone to know it. If you're in the market for an Android phone with all the features and specs that most consumers care about, and without feeling guilty for paying a huge price from your savings account, this is the phone to go for. No guilt attached. This was Ben from Technologically Curious, and if you enjoyed this video and this is your first time, make sure to subscribe. Hit that like button. It really helps me with my channel and helps it grow. So please do that. Until the next time, this is Ben signing out.